A lovingly created callback to the beginnings of real-time strategy. 8-Bit Armies is the perfect love letter to the glory days of Command & Conquer before EA tried to milk yet another cherished franchise. It has the same style of build menu, hidden crates dotted round, and virtually identical unit types. For those not fortunate enough to experience the joys of the Westwood classics, the gameplay is very simple. You are a general of some description commanding the battle from the sky. In order to produce your army, you need to have certain buildings to meet the requirements to build the different unit types. On the most basic level, you need a barracks for infantry, motor pools for vehicles, and air control for helicopters. The buildings need to be produced in a certain order, have power requirements, and also need to be funded by collecting resources. And throughout the entire base building process you are under constant assault from opposing armies. It's very simple to get a grasp of, and the campaign mode slowly works you into how the units work by providing you with circumstances catered to the strengths of each. In many ways it makes it the perfect entry point for real-time strategy. The objectives in the campaign mode aren't particularly diverse and generally come in 3 different types: destroy, mine, and complete both within a time limit. You only need to get a bronze medal to progress in the campaign, but the other rewards generally give you a bigger advantage in the next mission, such as a head start on resources or more units for your ever-growing army. The fact that a gold medal is almost always awarded for completing missions in 10 minutes can often result in you storming missions and not appreciating the surroundings for what they are. Admittedly, this is entirely a self-imposed problem, as you don't need to get a gold. Ultimately, the objectives give the game more replayability, and also allows those not interested in other more competitive games a better chance, as if you're struggling you can go back and get a better starting position for the next level. The graphical choice for this game is perhaps the most contentious point, as it has gone with a slightly cutesy block style, very similar to that seen in Cube Men. While there is nothing wrong with the graphics, it seems like it was aimed at the wrong audience, and almost like it was using or abusing the current trend in gaming to cut corners. If this was purely chosen on the basis to keep the focus on the gameplay rather than being distracted by the graphics, I'm totally in favour, and personally I don't actually have an issue with them. The look and sound of the shots fired isn't exactly inspiring. They appear lame compared with the genuine explosion sounds of previous games, and more effort here would have certainly been appreciated. Thankfully the soundtrack is amazing, and is produced by none other than Frank Klepacki, the man behind the old Command & Conquer soundtracks. The story very much takes a back seat in this, despite being worded in a very similar manner to the old games. It just doesn't have the same impact without the FMV sequences to back it up. Fortunately, this doesn't detract from the game at all, as you don't need much more reasoning to spur you on other than the opposing team is bad and they want to kill you. The gameplay itself allows for exactly the same tactics I always used to use, i.e. build as many of the same units as you possibly can and storm them regardless of the casualties. It's probably a massive relief that I'm not in control of an actual army. I found it very difficult to actually put together a full review for 8-Bit Armies, as I was enjoying it so much that I didn't take any notes whatsoever. I think this is testament enough to say that I can wholeheartedly recommend this game to anyone with fond memories, a love of the genre, or even someone that has never tried it before and wants a place to start. The campaign on its own is a worthy 8 hours or so, and then on top of that you have a 10 mission co-op campaign, multiplayer and skirmishes, giving the game more than enough to justify the asking price. It could be that I've been completely blindsided by this, as it's been so long since I've played an old Command & Conquer game that I'm just rolling around in nostalgia like an addict. RTS just isn't made like this anymore, and it feels like they've rekindled something special, and if something can trigger those memories so well, it can't be that bad. And to think that I almost dismissed this completely, just due to the name.